What do black people think about white people? Okay.
When I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what? Okay. Okay. Jesus, bro, she has fangs.
I act differently around people who aren't my race.
Yeah, I have to, bro. You can't. You have to, bro. You got a code switch, bro. That's just how it be. You can't be talking like you're.
3.
There's no way you can't. You got a code switch.
I think the most
Strongly agree,
important is to
100%.
authentically be yourself.
No. But there's certain shit that they wouldn't. Even the way you speak as well. There's certain shit you just cannot say, bro. Like if I will say this around my white family, like if I say like, not just a way, just a certain way I speak as well. Because I'm from a complete different type of walk of life that they are. You get me? Like even the way I'm speaking right now, like if I spoke to them like they just certain stuff what I would say, like little slang words, they just won't understand. So which makes sense.
And I don't think being around people who don't look like you should be a reason for you to act any different.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's like
I don't care who's around me. I'm still gonna be out of pocket.
within the confines of like.
But it's like a thing where like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes you have to though.
The workforce.
Yeah, workforce makes sense. Okay, code switching and workforce makes sense.
I was thinking code switching.
Because
Yeah, code
if you
switching.
show up to a media talking like this, they're like, uneducated, got it. They'll use the slang to sell the products and to tweet and to get the clicks and stuff. But like as soon as a worker's there, who's
He's
authentically
spitting.
from the area,
He's
and
spitting.
talking like people from the area. It's like, ooh, we don't like that, you know, because it's always like, well, be yourself until you yourself, and then it's like, ooh, I don't like yourself. Unfortunately, in
Preach.
a lot of the areas of work, it's like you almost have to like lie to these people to be like, I'm a robot. I'll like, you know, I love your company. Yeah. You know, it's sick. It's sick.
That's what they want you to do, bro. They want you to suck on their meat, bro. Like, he's not lying, like, bro. They want you. They want you to get on your knees, bro, and just bow down and like basically be their slave to them. It's crazy. That's what the workforce is, bro. And they don't care. They don't care about you one bit. But they expect you to care.
Like, you have to do, you know.
True. Like
Yeah.
I feel like code switching is one part, but also like there's certain parts in my own community that aren't accepted. That when I'm around different people that look like me, I can express myself differently. Like I feel like if I talk,
Yeah, because you're literally on like that just makes sense. It makes sense that you. I don't know. It depends the walk of your life, to be honest. That you feel more comfortable around. It depends really like what you grew up around. If you grew up around predominantly white people and you're black, you're not gonna feel as welcome as you do if you were, I don't know. But then at the same time, black people are also, they're gonna understand like you as well. Like if you're speaking about, for example, racism or just like simple shit like that. Like they're gonna understand your point of view. Whereas someone a different color might not.
a little proper. Sometimes I get a little slack for it from my side of the family. But when I go out into the world, sometimes I like EDC, I like tech music, I like, you know what I'm saying?
See, for me, I feel like it has nothing to do with race. It more has to do with just being professional. Like if I'm at work, then I'm obviously going to be a little more proper, you know, a little bit less slang and all of that, and just more careful with my rhetoric, but I don't think it has to do with race. The only thing I will say is like I work in political media, so I'm on camera a lot, so people already know who I am and what
I had a feeling, bro, because this guy's very like
I'm coming with.
He's a smart nigga,
but
bro.
that being said, it's like when I'm around other black people, because I'm a Republican, sometimes they tend to be really standoffish with me or think that I don't understand the culture and all this different stuff. So sometimes I have to feel it out
shit.
like, are these people who are just
I don't know what
coming at the
Republican
top,
is, bro.
Or are these people like I can actually just keep it all the way real with? So that's the only time I feel like I act different because of race.
You know, I also work in political media, but as a leftist, and I honestly feel like I've definitely benefited from being able to be in spaces where I've been able to be authentically myself, and I definitely think that's a privilege, especially where I like grew up is just like something that's regularly happening that people have to go through. But personally, I think I've been able to, especially now in a business side and now my new workworkplace, I feel like I don't have
That's
to.
what I'm saying.
adapt
A work that doesn't, that you feel like you can't be yourself, that's not like, bro, I wouldn't just say just leave it, but like, that's gonna be a miserable life, bro, if you just can't be yourself at whatever you do. Yeah.
Just to make people.
And like when you're at home, you're finally free. It's just like, work should never feel like you need to like you should love doing it.
Like respect me or understand.
Doing
where I'm
whatever you
coming
want.
from, you know?
At what point is it like, damn, we can't even really have conversations without buttoning up and being like, oh, this is how we have to talk like this, because so they'll listen, or like, regard us as.
But do you
people,
think that's racial, or do you think that's
I don't know that it's, because I'm right, I know where you're going.
We've seen you.
I know, I think, you know, I know exactly where it's going. I don't think it's intrinsically rooted in race, but I think just the way the social genetic makeup of people are, I think just by way of people of specific races speaking a certain way or being perceived a certain way, it tends to.
I remember that. I actually remember that. Because I must have been this was my first ever time, I must have been in like VR chat, bro. First ever time and the only time I ever went into this, bro. I started speaking to this guy, and he was like, I started violating Retete. And then he was like, this guy was like, I told him, I must have said nigga, and this guy was like, bro, you can't say that. You sound white. I was like, but I'm mixed, bro. I'm black and white. He's like, but you don't sound black. I'm like, I don't know. That shit just gets me tight, bro, because what does that even mean, bro? What does that even mean, bro? Like, what does sounding black even mean? There's no like right way to sound, bro. You get me? Everyone sounds a different, like you get me? That shit just gets me tight, bro, when you say you don't sound black, because like why you put in the way someone speaks on a race? Because people have different backgrounds, you get me? And saying that you're not a certain race because you don't speak a certain way is crazy to me. Maybe it's when they hear you speak well, and for some reason they assume that black people can't speak proper English. I don't know why, and it's fucked up. But it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of fucked.
More often than
got
not.
a 1.5k bounty in Valentine.
Based off of like.
What the fuck do you do to them?
Black Americans.
Yeah.
I think most people have barriers they put up when they get introduced to a new group. I went on disagree instead of strongly disagree, because like there have been situations where I get introduced to a group of someone of a different race. And like, yeah, at first I'm pulled back, but once I get comfortable with them, those walls come down, and then, yeah, that's where my true self comes out.
For me, it really depends, because
I mean, if someone online got a heavy Asian accent, I don't trust them saying the N-word. I really don't know, because there's generally there's black Asians out there. You gotta realize that there's black people that are from fucking, I don't know, man. But I completely get what you mean. It does make sense on that aspect.
Shooting music videos in the hood, so I really need to basically adopt myself to become a black person. So for me, it's not a problem like meeting new races. I always like vibe and chill with people.
Do you think adapting yourself to those different ethnicities is like something that's required to foster like a successful relationship?
Like, I would say it's really more for your survival, because, you know, like if you are the only white guy on set, and like there's like people with like guns and stuff, and you know, you just really need to like fit in and just be chill with it.
You're from the Ukraine, right? Do you feel like not having grown up with American culture as a whole, and then especially not growing up with our subcultures, do you feel like that's influenced the way you move when you're moving between our subcultures?
My like mentality is kind of mixed, because like from the age of like 13, I really started to learn English. from that, I really learned a lot. Like, I really got the American like mentality more. And basically, like my
Okay, that's
mentality
what you
is, like,
struggled
mixed
with it
because,
before,
like,
bro. You little pussy, bro.
Ukraine, if we see a black person, we call them the N-word.
Holy fuck. He said it straight, bro. I knew that Ukraine was racist, but I didn't know it was to that extent, bro.
And from our side, it's not offensive. Like, we say it not from a offensive way, but some people can because, you know,
Yeah,
like,
but
you don't see a
That's
black
insane, bro.
person there.
I can understand that because I went to a school that was predominantly black when I was growing up. And when I first saw the first white kid, I was like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a white girl with like red hair, and I was like, whoa, I've never seen this before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand that, like, when a white person comes to a
Interesting.
predominantly black group, then you're going to try your best to adapt to that, to our culture, to be like, okay,
Complete, that makes
I
sense,
get
yeah.
along with you. This is my way of like telling you, like, hey, this is, I'm like extending an olive branch, basically. So, yeah.
Personally, not to sound triggered, but I just don't like the notion that you're becoming a black person by pretending to be hood or
No,
adopting a hood
just like
mentality,
the
because
slang.
not all black people are hood, not all black people
course.
are ghetto.
Yo, what's good, K?
I understand what you're trying to say, and I don't know if it's a language barrier, so I don't want to like come at you like you're saying something racist.
You can't be mad at him, bro. He's just trying to fit in, bro. That's literally all it is, bro. He's just trying to fit in. White girl, red hair, yeah. I did it. Bro, I didn't get no notification though. What the fuck? Okay, I appreciate that, gang. Thank you, man. Burn the witch, bro. What the yo, come on now, Ferdy. Nigga, that's it. Yo. Them man there that have, the people that hate blondes, gingers, that's crazy to me, bro. That's insane. Don't say that, bro.
But I just really am anti black people being defined as ghetto and hood, because there's a lot of
Heavy on that. Heavy on that.
classy black people out
Yes,
there.
there's a lot of intelligent Afro-Americans out there, and it really like depends on like where you grew up.
I didn't get no notification
Also,
though. Damn.
if you are hood and ghetto like me, you can also be all those things too.
White people also experience race-based prejudice.
Wait, white people also experience race-based prejudice.
Since you guys
Agree.
probably don't know,
100%.
I have lived overseas. I've lived in Asian countries. In Japan, there are certain restaurants and stuff like that that you could walk into. You can see people dining in the restaurant, and they're gonna tell you they're closed.
Really?
Just because you're white or you're American.
Interesting.
So the idea that white people can't really experience racism kind of contradicts the very definition of the word, because the definition of racism is prejudice based on one's skin color. White people do experience it, but to a different degree.
While I do think that
I want to
our
see what
white
this guy
brothers and
says.
sisters in Christ can experience racial-based prejudice, I don't want to overlook the nuance of that prejudice, because it's not necessarily rooted in anything systematic or anything that's going to actually have long-term effects, knock on wood, that are going to like debilitate a race or inhibit their chances or possibility of succeeding.
But you're negating the facts. You're negating the definition of what racism is, right? It's a race-based prejudice.
Or being seen as
You can't negate the fact that it is. So it is still a form of racism.
van
You can't say that they
I
can't.
definitely think it's a non-issue, racism towards white people, especially specifically, I want to, like, in America. I don't think it's something that needs to be highlighted as an issue that is a constant threat to lives, day-to-day well-being, progress and success in life in general, because it's not something that's going to inhibit you, and you don't have to walk out your door and think, I'm about to be attacked, like people of color do every single day.
I do agree that
The crazy thing is, yeah, when I think about it, yeah, I've never actually like properly experienced racism in the UK. When I actually think of it, they're very like timid with it. Very, like, they'll show it with their actions, right? But they'll never actually, with me at least, I've never actually like properly, what's it called? Yeah! Yeah, I appreciate that, K. There we go, boy. Big 4 months, man. 4 fucking months. Thank you, man. UK compared to other countries is very good, exactly. I've also never experienced racism. I have experienced it. I had to do it, bro. That's my nigga right there. I've experienced it, but it's not in like a way like... It's like... See, look, the thing that I have with this is... I feel like they didn't mean to do it. Yo, what's good, Kels? I feel like they didn't mean to do it in a way. It's just built in on like how they are. Oh my god. Nah, K, where did you, K's got the bread. He's got the shmoney, bro. The fuck? Yeah, but I would say they in the UK they definitely do it like very discreetly. Like it's built up. Yo! What the fuck? Yo! You couldn't pick it. Oh no. But I appreciate the gifted, bro. I appreciate that, man. DLK, yeah, DLK's already got one. That's why. Why is he asking for a sub? You already got one. This fuck. But yeah, in the UK, they're very discreet about it. But they don't mean to do it. I know that. I know that.
White people
he actually
haven't been
scammed
put
you
through centuries of hell like black people were.
You did.
But prejudice towards white people 100% exists. Like whether it's in TV, if it's in movies, like if you watch predominantly black media, there's a lot of roasting towards white people that if it was the other way around, that would never be acceptable today. Then you go on
that's
social media
true.
like TikTok and you look up white people are bad. You will see videos where they're attacking white people for things that their ancestors did 200 years ago.
Yeah,
there are societal benefits at this point for being a person of color and that those negatively affect white people. Like if you look at affirmative action, diversity quotas in the workplace, all these different things, they lower the bar for black people, but then increase the bar for white people. However, I think where some of the issue comes is because a lot of marginalized groups and people of color back in the day went through so much worse that it's easy for...
I never liked black people though, really, using the slave mindset. I don't like that, bro. Like using the race card. Like trying to bring up like shit that happened, like we understand it happens. Yes, it's yes, it should have never happened in the first place, but you got to move on from it. That's how you progress. That's how you progress as a black person or a person of color. You don't use that because that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to do that, bro. And then and at the end of the day, when you use that card, you just look stupid, bro. You look stupid.
For us to discredit the prejudice that white people now deal with today.
I think like on an individualistic level, like yeah, white people get hate all the time. But I think if you zoom out and you look at the big picture, it's a little bit different. And like talking about like YouTube having, you know, racist content for anyone out there, it's like I would have to go and seek that out versus it like coming to me. Versus like on Twitter.
Against white people?
Yeah, I would have to like look for a video being like, oh, people who hate white people.
I agree.
Like versus like Twitter, I don't have to scroll very long before I see some person.
I can't lie, the amount of in ancient time everyone could be a slave. It's true. Black or white. What's yellow? I don't think you can say that, bro. There's no yellow, bro.
Comment about
and regulation being lifted so people
you don't no, that's racist, bro. There's racist, bro. I'll tell you that. Nah, you don't call Asians that, bro. That's like
that even more so.
Right.
Absolutely, that's 100% right. And even saying affirmative action statistically and on paper,
But I can't,
white women
like,
were
get me.
benefiting more from affirmative action at colleges than any other demographic. So I also don't think that's fair to say, but I definitely get what you mean. And again, I think the prejudice is still there though.
And I will say that black people do deal with prejudice. I think every demographic.
It's cool.
deals
It's
with
cool.
prejudice. There
People
are
have
racist
different
people
walks of
everywhere.
life. I don't know what
just
you
don't think
get me.
Systemic racism is an issue.
Some people
anymore
learn
in
different,
today's
differently. So
society, but
I
do
can't
think
just
that
be
there
just mad at
are
you for
racist people out there.
I think that there's a really important distinction. Our language is constantly evolving, and you were talking about the definition of racism. Our societal definition has changed to include a systemic part of it. And I completely disagree with this idea that people of color don't have systemic things against them still. Because the fact that we still have the KKK, the fact that we still have these things, and they are in positions of power. As long as that exists, and as long as that's a part of our country's like makeup right now, which it is, and that's our.
I still find that
structure,
crazy how they're still
I
there.
don't feel like you can honestly
I find that
deny
crazy. What the
systemic racism.
I
against
forgot about
black
them, you
people,
know.
Which is why prejudice.
They're still
is
a
so
thing.
different from racism. I don't think white people can experience racism in this country, but we can experience prejudice based on the societal definitions we want to use.
Being sexually
Unattracted
unattracted
to.
to a race.
Okay, now that's just a preference, bro. You can't even be mad. Like, that's just a preference. I feel like that's not racism, bro.
is
That can't be.
racist.
Strongly
I think where the
agree.
line gets
Agree.
drawn is when if a white male was sitting there swiping.
I think it's racist when you look at them like in a disgusting way, like, oh, why would I be attracted to a white person? You get me? When it's looked at that way, that is insane. But if you can admire them and say that they are beautiful, like when you see a good looking white person, accept that, but just say I wouldn't. But my preference is I like black girls, black boys, whatever. You get me?
And he's just like, I don't like black girls. They're all ugly. They have too big of lips. I think that's where
That's fucking insane, bro. The fact that he said I don't like black girls and then he added on the other shit that's some fucked up
the
shit.
line gets drawn. But
What?
you can't really help what you're attracted to. Like my fiance is Mexican, and it's like I like him for who he is, not how he looks.
I think that we are conditioned to be attracted and to respond to people that we grow up and around with. So homogeneously, we grow up with people who look like us. So when you move into dating and things like that, statistically, you're going to be attracted to people that you grew up seeing, right? However, when you are discrediting a certain race for whatever reason based off their ethnicity, meaning everybody who
But this is sexually attracted, bro.
did exist, is existing, and will exist from that race, you are not feeling anything. Q, I don't control your body or your thoughts, but on one hand, I'm like, let's maybe unpack that. Also, where's my camera? To all the girls that's putting this in their bios, that's none of our business. Stop doing that. Keep that to yourself. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear it.
For me, I think that like we're talking about
Interesting.
conditioning and how we grew up, right? If you go to like South Africa, for instance, which within some of our lifetimes had apartheid. If you grow up in that, especially as a black person, where you're constantly being mistreated by every single white person, and you're conditioned to be like, white person, no thank you. I don't think that's racist.
I agree, and I did not grow up in South Africa with apartheid.
Yeah.
However, like I said,
used
the
an
nickname
extreme.
of my town was Clancy. Like a lot of my interactions growing up were incredibly racist, and I'm dating a white guy. So I totally get what you mean. I don't want to discredit black people or anyone who's had those kind of situations.
Oh,
'cause
she
it's
wanted to say something.
not that they're not dating white people. It's
Yeah.
definitely, it's more like they're cautious.
I think you used the perfect word earlier. Is it conditioned or
Interesting.
I was thinking about it on the terms of me being a black woman. I feel like it's a lot different when it is a black woman going into dating someone that is not of their race. I can tell you from my experience with dating Hispanic men, white, whatever, they've only seen Jerry Springer and Maury. So it's like they have a whole different idea of what a black woman is. Like before my husband changed a lot, one of the comments made to me was he was afraid of me going to his house with braids in my hair, because then they would assume that I was a different kind of girl instead of looking at me for who I am.
I have been denied
That was interesting. That. No, because there's people. What that guy said, I'm pretty sure at the start, yeah. The guy with the dreads, he was like, if you grew up around, it makes sense that you're what's it called. But the thing is, he didn't really like. That wasn't a question though. There wasn't a question. It was like, if you're sexually attracted to one race, does that make you racist? I don't think that does, bro. Because it's just, at the end of the day, it's a preference. If you grew up around black people, it makes sense. Yeah. But like, it's only if you start discrediting. It's only when you start discrediting a race, then when it starts to, you get me? It starts to, like, now that's racism. How have I been? I've been good today, bro. It's been a good ass day today. I'll be real. And it's Friday as well. I just need my TikTok back though. That's the only
Access
problem.
because of my race.
I'm getting that shit back on Sunday, bro. That fucking Uno. I still can't believe we got banned from Uno.
I can go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere. And
Wait, what is it? Was it? I've been denied access because of my race. Nah.
I am not going to be denied because of how I look. And I would be ignorant to not admit that.
And I'm gonna counter that with we are justifiably not let.
Okay. Nah.
Into spaces.
How you been,
And our
Cayman?
whiteness
How's your day
takes
been,
away
bro?
Access to things like powwows. And there's an island in Hawaii that's only for natives or for like safe spaces for black communities or whatever else. We are justifiably denied access because of our skin.
Period. We love the nuance.
The thing about Hawaii, though,
Yeah.
Hawaii is stolen land. I believe that they have every right to be able to say only we're allowed to go here.
That'd
Because
be good.
that was theirs. It was literally stolen
That
land
was
that
good,
was
man.
stolen
That's
by
good.
white people.
That's good to hear, bro.
No, but that's why
Yeah.
it's justifiably, it's still denied access.
Yeah.
But it is
Got
justifiable.
paid today, so
100%
good day.
don't
Yeah,
let me
it's
in.
denied access, but it's justifiable. But it's like in my own day-to-day life, I can go anywhere. I can sit down anywhere. I can.
That's why
go
he's
read a
yo.
book in
That's
the
why he's
library,
summing up, bro. He's got
Starbucks.
that good
People don't feel
shmoney.
because of how I look, and so they don't feel the need to be like,
But I appreciate it, man.
you can't be here.
But like in your day-to-day life, are you being denied access? Like, are you trying to go to
No,
that
that's
island
just.
that they
No.
won't let you? Okay.
Then I think that's a really good question.
Like,
Has it happened? I guess.
Never.
Because
I
are
would
you
say
seeking
yeah.
those spaces then?
not necessarily.
Denied
seeking
access
them.
is
if I am
crazy,
already
though.
aware that this is like, hey, this is for us.
DLK
not
scammed me.
for
He
you.
actually did,
I'm
bro.
not gonna show up and be like,
He did.
yeah, but like, I'm a cool white person. But there are spaces that
He
we are not
finessed you,
allowed,
bro.
and I think that's okay.
He
No,
got
it is
gifted
okay,
ages
but you're
ago.
not
I can't believe he didn't
actively seeking to be
realize.
Part of those circles, you're not being denied access to them.
I will agree with that.
Sure, and I can say
She's
that
definitely doing a stretch here, bro. Because if you personally, if I've never experienced being denied access, I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like I can't speak on that subject. I don't know.
those are not the best examples, but like I think especially because my social circles are predominantly people of color, there are definitely things where they're like, where I've had them be like, this is not a conversation for you, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have had
if
those
you
experiences.
if
I'm
that
okay
hasn't
with
happened
them.
to you,
I'm
I just feel
okay
like
with
I
it.
should just
I
shouldn't
think there should be
be in that
spaces
conversation.
that aren't for me, and that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they've
Just no-
existed and they've been in my life.
I have just one really specific example. Otherwise, I feel like in general, I'm not denied access because of my race, just in my experience. But I had an ex whose stepfather was wildly racist, like Nazi memorabilia, like just
Holy
insane
fuck,
individual.
bro.
And I was never allowed over her house because of him. And the one time that
That's
I
fucked.
kind of snuck in, he was staring at me through the window. And
Oh no, Joe, this guy, bro. You're wanting to get like, nah, man. I would have left, bro. I would have left that girl. I'm sorry. I don't care if I'm in like love, bro. I'm so nah, man. That's a Nazi dad. He got me fucked. You got me fucked. I don't think DLK's here.
never forget that in my life, the way that man was staring at me through the window and then cursed out his kids for having me in the house. That man's now in prison for doing God knows
Something.
what, but it's where he belongs.
Ironic.
I was looking
Yeah.
for funding for my film, and most of them are for colored people, and I totally understand that. And there is like not many that I found that are for like everybody. My mind would be like, you know, damn, I cannot do it. Like I cannot apply to it. But from the other side, I understand that the Black community, like you guys need to get your movies out there.
If anything, I feel like I've been
Well, that wasn't- this guy was not-
too much. You know, I feel like I'm
real.
kind of like an undercover agent where I'm like because I talk a certain way or because I present myself a certain way, they assume like, oh, I could say this in front of you,
100%.
and I'm like, what do you say?
Exactly.
Interesting. That's very.
I've never
That's
really
it.
been.
Now I'll say that too. I've been
Yeah.
tokenized so many times.
like, I don't want
we
that,
have to have you here. We need young Black representation. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah.
I am proud of my race. 3, 2, 1.
Strongly.
I will go first, and I will stand 10 toes in.
I was just being ironic to
I
stand over
think-
there.
Okay, baby. I said, please no. I cried a little bit.
I was
I
being
think
messy.
that like, and I'll
Oh, interesting. Okay, this could be interesting. I'm proud of my race.
just keep it specific to my experience of what I know. As Black Americans, we're pretty much the top culture that gets replicated, referenced. People scoot in and scoot out because they want to seem cool and interesting and stuff. And I think that that's so.
I don't think there
there
should ever be some. There should be no like superior race, bro. I don't know. Especially in America, it seems like they want to be the superior race. I understand you definitely. I'm not saying they don't. Like, they're very influential. Don't get it twisted. But there should never be no superior. You should be proud to be whatever color you are, bro. Everyone should put and strongly agree. But the way it says that, it's not are you proud of your race, like what your race is like. I understand why some white people would stand over there based off just racism and shit. But
kind of like be beaten down for so long and be kind of separated from our African roots, create names for ourselves, culture, language around our identities as Black Americans, and have that be a thing that's just reverberating across the globe. I think that's so cute, can never be replicated, can never be understated, and I love that about it.
That was kind of the start of my.
you should be
thought
anyone.
process too, like,
Everyone here should be proud of like what color they are. Real.
just the basis of
Heavy on that.
being torn down so adamantly, so regularly for hundreds of years in law, even like. It is insane that we are here today to even be on camera, to even be in a place with other white people. Like, it is a beautiful thing that we have been able to flourish in such dirt, like literal filth and grime that our ancestors had to go through, and even our grandparents had to go through. Like, in my 8th grade yearbook I saw recently, it said, like, the South will rise again. Like, and this was 2015. So like, this is such a day-to-day thing, and I am proud to be Black, and it's hard to say that. Like, it was hard to say that as a kid.
I said
like,
the South
I
will
could be called
rise.
N-word, I could be reprimanded, and I feel so blessed to even be able to think that.
Oh my.
Everybody needs to be proud of their race and stop
Heavy on
this
that?
like racist bullshit, because
Mhm.
like
It's
you
bullshit,
can be
bro.
green,
It's-
red, black, white, Hispanic, like it doesn't matter.
I agree with like what you're saying, because my own personal belief is that at the basis of who we are is that we're all just people. We're not a skin tone. But because of those before me, I now have to fight back against the idea that all white people are racist. I remember being in 4th grade and learning about the Holocaust for the first time and saying, I don't want to be German anymore.
Wow.
Meanwhile, my mother's whole family is German. American history, you look at things like slavery.
It's fucked up, bro.
You look
That
at
Holocaust
things
shit, bro.
like Jim Crow laws, segregation. There is so much awful
that
stuff
Jim
that
Crow- oh
has
my God.
happened and is still happening in closeted ways that I cannot be proud of the way that I look.
Yeah, for me, like, I am
completely- it's fucked.
proud of who I am, like who I grew up to be. Like, I like who I am. But like, if I were to say I'm a proud white man, like, I don't even know what that means. Like, there have been 0 racial hurdles in my life. Now, like,
It's true.
I'm a proud gay man because like I've had to go through shit to get to where I am now, and you know, even to that point, so much of queer culture comes from Black culture. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to be proud of the things I've done, the people who I've touched, whose hearts I've opened up. I feel like it's beyond our race. I feel like what it is our experiences that make our light shine through.
Agreed.
So that's what I'm proud
Beautiful.
of, actually.
That's beautiful right there.
I think
Real
that
spiel.
there's a really big difference between
Being
being
proud.
proud to be Black and being proud to be white. So being proud of your culture, beautiful thing. Like, be proud to be Ukrainian. I'm proud to be Slavic. The Black community.
had a feeling she looks a bit
different.
Slavic.
The reason it's different is because their culture, specifically Black Americans, their culture was stripped away from them when they were brought over here.
Yeah, some of them don't even know what country they're from, bro. It's fucked, bro. When they ask, what are you, bro? Where are you from? They say America, bro. They don't even say like Nigeria. It's crazy.
Became
It's
being Black
fucked.
American. Like, the race became cultural.
I mixed that up.
So
Sorry
it's,
about
no,
the
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
so I think that
That's
there's
what I
a
feel like proud of your
difference
race.
between,
Like,
I
are
am
you proud of your
of
race? What they've
people
done?
are
No, you wouldn't be
Slavic
as a white
versus I
person.
am proud of my race.
They've done.
It just gets convoluted because Black
get me?
Americans, the race has become the culture because
They thought they
the
were
culture was
gods, bro.
stripped away.
I also think oftentimes when you talk about white pride versus black pride. Oftentimes, black pride is rooted in like love and like perseverance of like culture, customs, language, and things like that. And white pride is often rooted in like black hate, Latin hate, Asian hate. So I think that's like an interesting nuance to not overlook.
No, and I think that's such an important point. I think there's a difference between like, I'm proud and therefore I'm better, versus I am proud of what we have overcome.
Yeah, and then the whole idea of white pride started with people who think the Confederate flag is a personality trait. So how can I be proud of that?
Jeez, that's real.
I'm not saying
Yo,
that
having them
applies to
bitches,
any of
having a
people.
USA flag outside of your fucking house, like what? Like, come on now, bro. Like, you that making that literally your whole personality?
I
They're
meet
not
a lot of
wrong.
white people, particularly white liberals, who will actively say that they're ashamed of being white, and that is wild to me because
Yeah,
how can you
yeah,
look at
you
your
could
past
never- yeah.
because, yes, your race did terrible things in the past, but you shouldn't define yourself.
What's the
as
present
that,
right
and
now?
you should
What
look
is
at
what is they
right.
say?
So do you think white people should be proud to be specifically white?
See, I think that's a really nuanced
Very, yeah.
question when you're white, because I think you guys had the valid point of ethnicity is different, because like white isn't a collective culture in the way that black is, because black people have been grouped together and have a similar experience. But like white, like Italian American, you should definitely be proud of being Italian American. You should be proud of being Slavic American. You should be proud
There's a lot of
your
types of white,
lineage.
yeah, you-
But just to say, oh, I'm proud to be white, like yeah, that has a weird connotation to it because it's not a collective culture. But what I really want to emphasize is that you should not
Heavy
be
on that.
ashamed of being white in the way that a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should.
Okay.
You probably
At
know
that
about
point,
it.
it's on you.
That was a good video, bro. That was a good video.
All lives matter.
Niggas said all lives matter.